Hello, brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining me again today. Hey, I wanted to do a quick update about the Manchester synagogue terrorist attack from yesterday. And the police have verified that this guy was an Islamist terrorist. And I think they've also said he had accomplices. So it'll be interesting to see all that come out. But what I want to cover here is there was an additional tragedy that happened. It appears that the police shot and killed one of the synagogue worshipers. Let's read about that and see what the details are. Manchester synagogue attack. One victim apparently shot dead by police. Yeah, because I didn't see anything that said that the attacker had a gun, only a knife and maybe a suicide belt. Suspect Jihad al-Shamie did not have a firearm, and only shots fired were by police officers at the scene. Yeah, with a name like Jihad, that kind of gives it away. This guy was a terrorist. Armed police officers appear to have killed one of the victims of the Manchester synagogue terrorist attack and injured another after opening fire on the suspect. In a statement, the Greater Manchester Police Chief Constable Sir Stephen Watson said Home Office pathologists had provisionally determined that one of the two victims killed on Thursday died of a gunshot wound. The suspect, Jihad al-Shamie, who had attacked worshippers with a knife, did not have a firearm, and the only shots fired were by police officers at the scene. 3 people are in hospital with serious injuries suffered during the attack, one of whom is thought to have also suffered a gunshot wound that police said was not life-threatening. So it appears that the police accidentally shot 2 bystanders, which is unfortunate. It is believed the deceased victim and the person injured by police gunshot were among those behind the synagogue door seeking to prevent the attacker from gaining entry. So it looks like the bullet must have gone through the door or the window. There were reports that a bullet scraped one man's leg and entered the stomach of a second who died, but the police are yet to provide details. Okay, so maybe one bullet struck 2 of the synagogue worshipers. Watson said, overnight, we have taken advice from the Home Office pathologist ahead of a full post-mortem examination scheduled for later today. The Home Office pathologist has advised that he was provisionally determined that one of the deceased victims would appear to have suffered a wound consistent with a gunshot injury. It's really sad. It is currently believed that the suspect, Jihad al-Shamie, was not in possession of a firearm. The only shots fired were from Manchester Police's authorized firearms officers as they worked to prevent the offender from entering the synagogue and causing further harm to our Jewish communities. It follows, therefore, that subject to further forensic examination, this injury may sadly have been sustained as a tragic and unforeseen consequence of the urgent required action taken by my officers to bring this vicious attack to an end. The 2 victims killed in the attack at Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue in Crumpsall, North Manchester, were named by police Friday 53-year-old Adrian Dalby and 66-year-old Melvin Kravitz. They were killed after a car was used to ram into the grounds of the synagogue before the attacker sought to stab the worshipers in a 6-minute rampage that ended only when armed officers shot him twice, killing him at the door of the temple. Shamie had been wearing what appeared to be an explosive vest, but it was later confirmed not to be viable. Okay, so it was fake, because that's new news to me. 3 others were seriously injured in the attack on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Watson said, we have also been advised by medical professionals that one of the 3 victims currently receiving treatment in hospital has also suffered a gunshot wound, which is mercifully not life-threatening. It is believed that both victims were close together behind the synagogue door as worshippers acted bravely to prevent the attacker from gaining entry. Our thoughts and prayers remain with all of the family and the wider community impacted by this incident across Greater Manchester and beyond. Specialist officers are providing support and care for all those directly affected, including our brave responders. Police named the attacker as Shamie, 35, a British citizen of Syrian descent, on Thursday night. Greater Manchester Police said 3 other people, 2 men in their 30s and a woman in her 60s, had been arrested on suspicion of commission of preparation and instigation of acts of terrorism. Okay, so a few other people helped him in building the bomb or instigated him to do the attack. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. Shamie, whose surname means Syrian, moved to Britain as a child and became a naturalized British citizen while still a minor in 2006. Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, said she was surprised by the attacker's first name and that she had never heard someone being called Jihad. It seems to be prophetic. All right, so that's really all I wanted to cover today. I'll leave the story for you guys to read. I just wanted to hit on the fact that A couple of the bystanders had been shot. I still stand behind what I said in my last video. The police have a really hard job. They were doing the best they could. And unfortunately, accidents can happen whenever you have guns. But if they hadn't acted, things could have been worse. They didn't know he didn't have a real suicide vest. They were acting on what they felt was in the public's best interest and their own best interest. But it's just sad. Oh, my cat just stood on the keyboard. That tells me it's time to end. Let me know if you like this. Like and subscribe if you do. If you don't like it, don't watch me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks. Bye.